our lesson today, we are going to factor. Whoop, there's your answers too. Your trinomials, your quadratic trinomials, when your a value is 1. So going back to the warm-up, what I'm talking about is the case where there's no number in front of our x squared. Make this a little bit bigger, sorry. So there's no number in front of this x squared. See that? We say that that's the case then, that a in this problem is actually 1. There is a number in front of our x squared. It's just we never write that. B is always the number in front of your x. So in this case, it's -7. I usually include the sign. And then C is 12. Your quickest and fastest way to factor a trinomial when there's no number in front of the x squared is just to look at the factors of C. So I shoot laser beams out of my C value there. And what I'm thinking about in the back of my head is what multiplies to give me 12. So this is me thinking. What multiplies to give me 12 but then adds to -7? So what two numbers can I multiply to give me 12 but add to -7? -3 and -4 was what Lexi nominated. So we got -3 times -4. That is for sure 12. And then if I add, or if I find the sum of -3 and -4, I do actually get -7. So that's legit. Okay, remember, a lot of this lesson is about stuffing sets of parentheses. So I'm going to open up my set of parentheses. And the firsts always have to come from breaking apart that x squared. So we're asking ourselves, what do we multiply together to get our x squared? And that's just x times x, right? And then Lexi gave us these numbers over here, this -3 and this -4. I could just plop those right in those parentheses just as they are. So that's going to be my next step. So I'm going to do -3, -4. And if I could read Josh's mind right now, he might be thinking about Doritos. Or he might be thinking, what do we even do with a -7? How does that even play a role? I don't know, I'm just making stuff up.
Which Josh?
I was thinking dryer. Because he asked the same question earlier in the lesson. Sorry, yes, there were two Joshes. So he's probably saying, what do I even do with this -7? Well, this comes in with the check. So I'm not ignoring that number, it just doesn't come in until I go to check it. So when I go to check this, I FOIL, I do x times x, that's x squared, -4x, -3x, plus 12. That's going to be x squared minus 7x, there it is, plus 12. Oh, there he is. When I get the original problem back out, I'm a pretty happy girl, because that is my answer.
Oh, yeah. Bro, literally like...
Okay, really quick, before I go on to another one, I have a question for you. I taught you two methods yesterday, the GCF method and the square root method. Why couldn't I use those methods on this problem? Like, why all of a sudden did I jump ship on what I taught you yesterday?
We're moving on to bigger and better
Yeah,
things.
we're moving on to bigger and better things. And yeah, 12 is not a perfect square, people. And also, what else? Is there a greatest common factor? Do 7 and 12 share a number in common? No. So we need something else. That's always why math exists, right? Oh, I couldn't solve this problem with this skill, so I have to develop something else. I have to solve the problem a different way. All right, so you get a couple to practice with there. It's an additional example. I'm getting some looks, I'm getting some nonverbals. We're going to do this one together. So we have x squared plus x minus 6. So again, I always just shoot laser beams out of my last number. And what I'm thinking about is, exactly, what multiplies to -6 but adds to 1? So we have -2 and -3 nominated.
No, it's going to be not both negative. They're not both going to be
Right. I love that you're attending to your own precision right now. That's awesome. So they're not both negative because a negative times a negative gives you a negative or positive 6. Also, these would add to -5. I agree, though, with the 2 and the 3, the absolute value of those numbers. One has to be negative, one has to be positive. +3. Legit. Okay, so what do I do now? I'm in the business this couple weeks here of stuffing sets of parentheses. I don't know about a couple weeks. It bleeds into next week, I should say. All right, and what we established is that -2 times +3 gives us -6 and adds to the 1 in between. And then, if I want to figure out how to break x squared apart, what two things multiply to give me x squared? That's just x times x. I do always check with FOIL. You can get 100% just by taking that extra step. Because when you FOIL, you don't get the original answer back out, you just have to change one of the 4 pieces of your answer. So I FOIL this, I get x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 6. So I get x squared plus x minus 6, and I'm happy, because that answer is right. You have a little bit of this to do for homework tonight, and then we will continue this with your friend in mind. Woo! AC Group, and look at her. She's so pretty. All right.